Well done, my friends. Welcome to Module 4 in our B20M program. How to build a 20 million ringgit business professionally. Right, we talked earlier in our previous module talking about where to find the clients, where to find the prospects to sell to. We talk about education plans, we talk about retirement plans. Didn't do that? And then we also said that now we talk about, we have found out where to get people to sell to, and I hope, my friends, you have started to build up a 100 name reservoir of potential prospects. Yeah? And I know that it's going to be difficult, but I hope you have embarked on the journey, and I wish you every success, that you will not stop until you build up that 100 names as a minimum number. Now we want to come to the next section in this module, where we want to talk about what makes you different from the rest of the crowd. Remember in Module 1, we said that there are 65,400 over unit trust consultants running around Malaysia. And in Mecca Mutual, there is 1,445 and adding. So, with so many people all over Malaysia talking about unit trust, so what will distinguish you from the rest of the other unit trust advisors? I mean, there's 65,000. Why should a person buy from you? And I think the likelihood that they'll buy from you is when they see that you are different, when you position yourself differently from the rest. So that as a Mecca Mutual unit trust advisor, you will be seen to be different. If I can, I would like to use the word professional, but everybody claims to be professional. But at least for now, you seem to be different from the rest. Seem to be a more special, more conscious, more focused person. Let's discover that as we go along, right? So what will distinguish you from the other unit trust advisors or unit trust consultants? Well, the first thing we want to talk to you about is this. Have you ever heard of the 60 seconds elevator pitch? Let me ask you a question. You go to a dinner, you go to a party, whatever it is, you happen to stand next to a stranger, and you will introduce yourself, isn't that true? You say, hi, I'm David, and I'm from Mecca Mutual. Where are you from? And the person will tell you where he's from, his name or her name, yes? And then after a while, maybe after some silence, you will probably ask each other what you do. And so the person says, well, I am so and so, I do this, I do that, what about you? Now, how would you answer? Most people would say, hi, I'm David Ng, and I'm a unit trust advisor with Mecca Mutual. Isn't that true? But what does it say? Does it mean anything at all? Does it sound exciting, interesting to that person, that the person will want to know more? Except the person will just say, well, okay, unit trust agent, I know so many of them, isn't that true? So now, I'd like you to be a little bit different from others by working on your own introduction. We call this the 60 seconds elevator pitch. Why elevator pitch? Because when you enter into an elevator, you know, a lift, you have roughly 60 seconds to tell people what you do in a way that will excite them enough to want you to call them back. Yes. But how do you do that? Now what we have done is we have provided for you here a structure. And then this structure has proven to be very useful. And I ask you now, my friends, to write down this structure, then turn off your video and fill in the blanks. Complete it the way that you want to. Now, understand this. This must be your own personal introduction. Alright? So use the structure here, put in your own words, do what you're going to do. Please don't ask somebody else because it's you, not them. And the structure goes something like, you know, we provide. What do you provide? Yeah? You provide financial advice, don't you? What else do you provide? Write it down. For whom? You provide such kind of thing for whom? And those people who are looking for what? Yeah? Who are doing what? who are in what situation? I don't know. Write them down. And these are the people who are looking for what? Looking for solutions, looking for freebies, looking for advice, whatever. And then you say most people who buy, what do they buy? Probably in our case, financial products, right? Or even unit trusts, if you like. Not even aware. What are they not aware of? Think, my friends, what are they not aware of? And then tell them that we always offer. What do you offer, my friends? You, yourself, what do you offer? And to help them, in this case, make the best decision, we offer a free. What do you offer for free? Think about it, my friends. Which contains, what does it contain? You know, your free proposal, the free things that you're going to give them. What does it contain? So, my friends, I'm going to ask you to write this down, and I want you to switch off the video now and fill in the blanks and send this to me. If you think you want some assistance, you want some comments, I'll be very happy to comment on what you do. But I ask you now, Frank, so don't procrastinate, don't leave it to later. Turn off your video now for the next 5-10 minutes. Craft out your statement so that it becomes your own personal statement. Yes, do it now. Turn off the video and start crafting this statement. My website, my email address will appear on the screen in a short while. And then you can write to me if you want. There's no compulsion, but if you think that you want some polishing if you like, fine-tuning if you like, I'll be more than happy to do that for you, provided you send them to me. Right, now that you have attempted to craft your statement, and I hope you have, and if you like to, I said earlier, you send them to me. Let's move on. What will also differentiate you from the rest of the crowd is this. If you follow the Mackel 6-step process. Now remember, the Securities Commission came up with a booklet several years ago, which is still in print, and in that booklet, several years ago, which they first published, they advise potential investors not to do business with a unit trust consultant who do not go through a process. So people who don't go through a process, the SC says, don't do business with them. Mackel Mutual, we have our own 6-step process, and this 6-step process encompasses everything you need to know, you need to do before a client puts his investment in you. And for the 6-step process, I'm going to give you an overview, we'll give you a brief look at what they are, but I would urge you, my friends, to actually look at our website and see when is the next M6SP program, come register for it. I promise you this. Just as, just as so many people who have gone through the 6-step process have said, you will benefit from it just as they themselves have. So what are the 6 steps? Well, number 1, the first one is to make your services known to people. Number 2, analyze your client's financial needs, goals, priorities. The third step is to ascertain your client's ability to fund the key financial goals. Right? Step number 4 is to choose the most appropriate model portfolio. Number 5, you need to look for the most appropriate unit trust funds. There are 27 funds at this moment in Mackel Mutual. Why do you recommend a particular fund to your clients? Are you able to justify it when they ask you why? Instead of progress, why not value? Instead of value, why not dividend? Why not Sharia compliant and non-Sharia compliant? That's when you talk about step 5. Look for the most appropriate unit trust funds. And of course, number 6, and to me, my friends, this is about the most important step, and that is to evaluate and monitor your client's portfolio performance regularly. In other words, you need to know whether your client's portfolio is on track to meet their goals. What are their goals? We said that most people will have 2 major financial goals in life. 1, education, 2, retirement. And if they start on embarking on the journey with you to want to have a comfortable retirement to what they have planned out for using the MHO, then you need to tell them whether they are on track or not on track. And if they are not on track, what are you going to ask them to do? That is step number 6. Let me give you a short description of what actually goes through in making your services known to your client. Remember, these are just for your information, just for you to have a sample, right? Please don't take it as seriously and say it exactly the way it does. You may want to say, good morning, Jasmine. Thank you for giving this opportunity to meet you. Tell me, Jasmine, what do you expect from your unit trust advisor? And I think this is a wonderful way. In any sales situation, the tendency for the salesperson to talk more is that we want you to let the client talk, because the more the clients talk, the more information you will have. Don't you think so? So let him talk. What does he expect? And then you tell him, as a professional, before you make an investment, I use a process to determine your needs and current situation. When you say that, immediately you are giving him an assurance that you know what you are talking about, what you are doing. Isn't that true? So, tell him that after the investment, they will see you on a regular basis, usually a quarter or whatever time frame you decide. Report on the status of the investment and advise next steps to take in order to make sure you're on track to achieve your financial goals. Don't you think that's very convincing? Don't you think that's very reassuring? Now, step 2, you may want to say something like this. First of all, to say something that will teach you or help you to explore, discover your client's financial goals, priorities, and all this you can find in the Macro Planners. I trust at this point in time, my friends, that all of you who are watching this video are subscribers to our MHO and that you're actually using it. If you are not, my friends, I cannot emphasize enough how much you are missing out. And not only you, but your clients as well, right? But here, you may want to say something like this. Jasmine, you all, like all responsible parents, I'm sure you have in place an education fund for your son Yusuf, assuming the son is called Yusuf. Tell me, are you confident that plan will achieve your goal? So you see, my friends, not only must you write your questions in advance, you must also write down your statements in advance. You notice the words that are being used are chosen very carefully. You're saying that I am sure you have in place, rather than do you have in place. If you say do you have in place, that means you're questioning him whether he's a responsible parent or not. Don't you think so? So make sure you choose the words correctly so that it is soothing and not offensive to the client. And more importantly, a lot of people will say, yes, I've got this, I've got that. And many people will say that I've got this insurance policy, the education policy that people sell to them, investment link. And don't belittle them. Just ask them these simple questions. Are you confident that plan will achieve your goal? Now, most people will probably don't even know how much is needed. And that is when your Macro Planners will help you. Now, Macro Mutual has a tool that can ascertain what it would cost to see Yusuf through university and help you see at once whether your current plan is adequate or not adequate. Right? And then at this point in time, you would actually open up your computer and show the MHO to them. Now, step number 3 is to ascertain your client's ability to fund the key financial goals. You're in front of them, you've got the planners out, you have plunked in the numbers which he gave to you, and now you know how much is needed as an initial lump sum as well as subsequent investment. You now need to know whether they can afford it or not. Jasmine, when would you like to start? You see, it's very difficult to ask a person, hey, can you afford it? You can't ask that, right? Well, you assume that he can afford. So, whatever figures you have got on your screen, tell them now, would you like to start this plan for little Yusuf, right? If the client indicates that he's not able to proceed because of financial constraints, say something like this. Encik Azman, yes, education overseas is indeed costly. Would you like me to work on some alternatives for your consideration? In the Mecca Home Office, not only you have got the various countries, you also have training programs. And not only that, you also have local programs. So please, my friends, go do your homework before you go and use the Mecca planners in front of your clients, right? Mecca Mutual, in the last few months, they have sent out an update of all the education costs for most of the countries in the world where your son or daughter may want to go and educate themselves. So always look for all these prices updated. Where can you find such prices, such costs? In the university's website, right? You need to do some work, okay? Now, step 4 says, choose the most appropriate model portfolio. Now, you've never heard of asset allocation. Then, here is an introduction, but to learn more, again, please come to the M6SP program, which is a 2-day program, and look when it's being run on our website. So, Encik Azman, given your risk profile, the time horizon and the current market situation, yes, in order to come up with the proper asset allocation model, all this must be taken into consideration. The person's risk profile, the time horizon of investment, and the current market situation. And then you may say something like, I'd like to recommend this portfolio model. I'm sure you have seen Mecca Mutual's 24 pie charts, okay? In fact, there are actually just 15 pie charts. Yes. So therefore, use that as a guide and then choose a model from them, because this has been created after much study. Yeah. And then we'll advise changes when necessary. Is that all right with you? And so tell them how you have arrived at the figure. And come to the M6SP, will teach you exactly on how to get the right asset allocation model. And this is what we're talking about. Okay? 15 on the one side and the other 9 on the other side. And you'll find that really they're just 15 pie charts that you can use. Step 5 says, now that you have come to the right asset allocation model, you now need to look for the most appropriate unit trust funds. And so the question is this. Look at the script first. Encik Azman, I am recommending the dividend fund to you as it is among the funds our fund managers has picked for this quarter. Now, you look at the market outlook, which is on the website. You can actually use this to say why they're picking the fund. Also, its investment objective is suitable for your right profile. My friends, choosing the right fund is easier said than done. So again, if you do not know where to start, here is an example. Look at the manager's page, which appears on our website. And if you really want to know more about the funds, its investments, objectives and all that, please come and learn more from the website, as well as come from the Mecca 6-step process, right? Then finally, is the last step, which is to evaluate and monitor clients' portfolio regularly. I'm going to say something that which will allow you to tell your client that you will use the Mecca Cams to help you monitor his investment, and you're going to keep him or her informed regularly through phone calls, meetings, reports, And the Mecca Home Office gives you so much convenience that at the click of a button, click of the mouse, the report will go out to your client. There's nothing you need to do because everything is calculated for you. And of course, you need to review your client's portfolio periodically. We're going to touch on all this as well in detail at the M6SP program, which by the way is a 2-day program. Right. Having said that, my friends, I will now ask you to go to our website and answer the questions before you move on to the next module.